Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Mr. Blue podcast. I am your host, Mr. Blu-ray. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the podcast so far. I'm really proud of it. With Secret Wars coming out 5 years away, I figured we could talk about what is going to happen after Secret Wars because we all know that Secret Wars is going to be the soft reboot of the MCU, as far as we know. Hopefully you guys know what soft reboot means. Like, it's not a full-on reboot, it's just, sure, some things will change. There's still some stuff that'll be part of, like, continuity, like, in general, really, right? Like, whatever it is you like, right? At least with this one, with the MCU, it makes a whole lot of sense because, with everything that has to do with the Secret Wars and all that. Of course, you guys know that I will not be following the continuity of James Gunn's new DC universe, right? Because it just doesn't make any sense. You gotta have a crisis, right? At least like a Crisis Part 2. Again, with the MCU, it makes sense because we're having everybody come back. Like, from the current MCU to pre-MCU. And as far as my knowledge, guys, I've watched every non-MCU movie up to date. And that does not include the really old live-action Marvel stuff. And to be quite honest, I don't know if David Hasselhoff's Nick Fury will be involved with Secret Wars. Even Kevin Feige says, quote-unquote, that everything is canon. Like, I am sorry, it's just, as long as, until I see that everything is canon, I'm just not going to believe it. Especially not this time. Who knows what could this mean for the MCU, because I'm left to believe that everybody is going to be on one Earth, because, the incursions and all that, from what we've learned from Multiverse of Madness. I feel like all the variants that we've encountered throughout watching Marvel movies and TV shows in general, I feel like they're all going to live on the same Earth. Like, imagine all the three Peter Parkers living on the same Earth, like Earth 616, right? Now, this is a perfect opportunity for Miles here, right? Because both Sony and Marvel are trying to get a live-action Miles, alright? So what I am left to believe is this isn't the end for Miles, right? Our Miles, right? So with Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out, and that's the last one in the trilogy, I am left to believe that Miles will actually teleport to Earth 616, where he'll meet Tom Holland, and eventually Tom would have to, I guess, somewhat mentor Miles to be, like, the new current Spider-Man. Like, man, just thinking about that, like, if we could get the actor to play, like, the live-action version of Miles, that'd be great. Like, man, imagine seeing Haley Steinfeld's Gwen Stacy meeting Kate Bishop, Spider-Woman meets Hawkeye. Man, that'd be pretty cool. And yes, we know everything about the X-Men, like, we are getting little snippets and pieces of them right now, but, like, they're not gonna mess with them fully until after Secret Wars. So, I mean, hey, if Hugh Jackman is still going to be Wolverine, if he's going to be the current MCU Wolverine, then sign me up. Seriously, because, honestly, what I want for them to retcon, guys, is that I'm pretty sure all of us want Marvel to retcon this, right? Is that Wolverine was in World War II with Captain America, and they somehow met. Obviously, they haven't shown it on film, but they could. They could, guys. Again, they would retcon that. Like, oh my gosh, that'd be so cool. Oh man, Captain America and Wolverine in World War II. Man, that'd be pretty cool. Even Steve would be surprised on what Logan is, and Logan would have to carefully explain to Steve like what he is, like a mutant, right? Oh man. Yeah, and when I say everybody from the pre-MCU, I mean everybody. We're talking Wesley Snipes' Blade, Eric Bana's Hulk, Tobey Maguire's and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, of course Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. Who knows about the Fox X-Men? Maybe they'll be wiped out. Ben Affleck's Daredevil, Jennifer Garner's Elektra, Thomas Jane's Punisher, and you got the original Man-Thing, and of course, like the old Fantastic Four. Like, can you imagine all three different groups of the Fantastic Four would meet in Secret Wars? Well, again, it is a possibility, right? And maybe for you guys, for the Fan Force Stick cast, like that could be a redeeming arc for them, and maybe they can make like an honorable sacrifice. Like maybe like when it comes to 2028, they will be old enough, or at least maybe Marvel will make them look old enough. It'd be like they could look like a proper Fantastic Four, right? But still, I love that movie more than the original two Fantastic Four guys. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. Anyways, like again, you get like countless non-MCU actors, like again, like with Tom Hardy's Venom, Jared Leto's Morbius, it's Morbin time, Aaron Taylor Johnson's Kraven, and of course, Madam Web could be involved too, but like she's pretty much in charge of the Spider-Verse, like what the Spider's fates are gonna be. So like again, if she could have a bigger part in that too, that'd be so cool. Again, the possibilities are endless with Secret Wars, guys. This is going to be the movie of all time. Like, I shouldn't say the movie. Like, I've been watching a lot of Microwave Society. They say that a lot. The biggest movie of all time, especially of 2028. And I'm honestly happy that they're taking their time with this, with Bob Iger back in the picture, like, we could finally get back to proper MCU. Like, I'm hearing a lot of MCU fans, they just want it now, like, technically, we would have been, but just like, guys, let's not rush this thing out the door. Let Kevin Feige and the rest of everybody else come back in. Apparently, the director of Shang-Chi stepped down. Like, you know what? That's good, because I think it's too big of a movie for him to handle. I think he was supposed to direct Kang Dynasty too, right? Like the first one. Just focus on Shang-Chi 2 and Wonder Man, and and you know what? What McFeely and the other guy, oh my gosh, like the guys that work on Captain America, right? Like Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. There you go. I think they recommended for the Russo brothers, right? Like henceforth, like they directed Infinity War and Endgame. Like honestly, this would be perfect. Like come back for King Dynasty and Secret Wars, because oh my gosh. That'd be so cool to have them come back. I should know this, but didn't those two guys also write Falcon the Winter Soldier? I'm not talking about the Russo brothers, but just because like they hold a special attachment to that character. Like, man, yeah, those guys are awesome. Just imagine seeing two Hulks. Honestly, I just want to see the two Hulks, like our Hulk, MCU Hulk, and then Eric Bana's Hulk. Like, oh man, I don't want to see Lou Ferrigno's, okay? I don't know how they would try to get him in. Like, oh my gosh, like don't even use AI or anything. I'm sick of AI. Been sick of it ever since people started talking about it. Hi, bud. I don't think you guys can hear his purring, but he's right next to me. Welcome to our podcast, bud. Yeah, so the MCU can literally tell new stories, right? For new characters, current characters, I mean, if they want to retell, like Captain America's story, for example, go ahead, because I mean, who knows what the recent reports from what we've been hearing, like, oh, like, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, Chris Evans is coming back. Kevin Feige actually, debunked this with RDJ, like, where do you people start coming up with these rumors and lies that RDJ is coming back? Like, as cool as that would be for him to come back, we don't know if he'll ever come back, but just, that's up to Kevin Feige, really, and, well, and Robert, too, but, like, guys, you gotta stop making up these lies. Like, Chris Evans coming back for Cap, like, I could definitely see that coming. Like, honestly, it would make sense to kill off the original 6 Avengers. Like, they even tried doing that in Endgame. Like, they were trying to kill off everybody, Again, maybe an Endgame wouldn't make sense because that's the end of the Infinity Saga, but, with Secret Wars, like, yeah, you gotta have everybody come back. So, whenever Marvel will decide to make a reunion Avengers movie to lead up to Secret Wars, like, man, like, that... Again, the possibilities are endless. I also asked you guys this question during the summer about these properties, again, like Ghost Rider, Blade, and Man-Thing, like, yes, like, we already got a Ghost Rider in the MCU. Marvel's still working on Blade, and we already got Man-Thing in the MCU. But does both Disney and Marvel Studios own these films? Because if they do, those films will be on Disney Plus right now. Part of the mature side of things on Disney Plus, Well, Ghost Rider not really, because those movies are PG-13, and again, with the Blade trilogy and Man-Thing, they're all rated R, so like they will be part of the mature part of it. So yeah, just let me know in advance, guys. Like, is that the official confirmation? Because I mean, we know, like, they also own the original Daredevil and Elektra, right? Like, they got those properties back in 2012. Henceforth, that's when the Netflix series came out. Yeah, it's just... I think this could work with all different variations of the characters existing on Earth 616. Because, man, just imagine seeing, like, Wesley Snipes' Blade and the Disney Blade being in one universe. Man, like, oh, and because the biggest rumor going on right now with Spider-Man 4 is that I actually believe this rumor to be true. As long as they shed some light on this. I don't think I've talked about this on video before. So, alright, it's first time for everything, right? The biggest rumor right now for Marvel Spider-Man 4 is that it's going to be another multiversal film, and that movie should connect all of the Sony Spider-Verse stuff. Again, we're talking Tom Hardy, Jared Leto, Aaron Taylor Johnson, like, all that stuff, just to get into the MCU, right? Seriously, how cool would that be? As long as, like, I made this cool theory when I did my Blade unboxing that once King Dynasty and Secret Wars happens, once Morbius and Blade will get in a room together, like, whoever it is, like, Blade is going to have a fun time tracking him down because, Morbius is part vampire, but, like, man, Morbius is going to be on the run. Like, that's not such a crazy theory, right, guys? Let me know in the comments if you agree. But yeah, like I said, if they were to bring in David Hasselhoff's Nick Fury into the picture, they would have to put him in a room with Sam Jackson. Like, oh my gosh, how would that even work? And you know what? With Peter Quill on Earth, it'd be pretty funny if they put him in a room with, again, David Hasselhoff's Nick Fury, and then Quill will have no idea who he is. Like, be like, David Hasselhoff, is that you? Why do you have an eye patch? Like, and of course Hasselhoff be like, I'm sorry, kid, I don't know who you are. Like, who are you talking about? Like, oh my gosh. And of course, we know that the Guardians are going to reunite for this one too. Like you can't have the Guardians, right? Like they're pretty funny people. Speaking of which, I'm happy that James Gunn and Chris Pratt announced, like, after Guardians 3, like, we're finally getting a Star-Lord solo movie. I'm hoping we'll get that before Secret Wars, because that would really set up Peter Quill, like, with things on Earth. Like, he hasn't been back for, well, since Endgame, but, like, he hasn't really been back when you think about it, guys, because he's been gone for 3 decades, and I was, hoping that his grandpa would still be alive, and he is, so, but there's probably going to be a point in time in that movie that they're probably going to have to kill him off because, he would die of old age, like, yep. And, again, with Secret Wars setting up the X-Men, you gotta have the Scarlet Witch back, and you gotta have the Quicksilver back, because I don't believe that our current, Scarlet Witch is dead. She had to survive somehow. And in order to have the X-Men, you gotta have, the Scarlet Witch and the Quicksilver, right? So, I believe they're working on a solo movie project right now, right, for Scarlet Witch. And if they could bring back both Aaron Taylor Johnson's and Evan Peters' Quicksilver's back, like, oh my gosh, like, they literally can control time. Like, let's say something tragic really happens in the Secret Wars, like, everybody dies, but those two are the only survivors left, and they have to go back in time, and they save everyone, and they have to come up with a new plan, right? Again, just think about it, guys. You didn't see that one coming, did you? Oh my gosh, again, like, seeing Quicksilver and Kraven the Hunter in the same room, like, oh my gosh. Or, like, if Wanda had a moment where she saw Kraven, she'd be like, you just look like a lot like my brother Pietro, the Quicksilver. And Kraven would just look at her like she's crazy, like, okay. Imagine having the Vulture and, like, the Raimi and Mark Webb villains join the Avengers. Like, oh my gosh. And yeah, Morbius would have no other choice but to join the Avengers, right? Like, they have to work together as a team. Has to do with Spider-Man, I think. A bunch of guys, I guess, should team up. Could do some good. Intriguing. And I'm honestly happy for Kraven the Hunter that they're doing reshoots, because they're trying to connect everything with Venom. Like, all the reports I've heard in the last year, like, oh, Kraven, it's not going to be part of the Villainverse, it's not going to be part of, well, it is, but, like, it's not going to be part of Venom and Morbius's world. Like, that's going to suck, because, Vulture and Morbius, they're trying to form their Sinister Six, and they're going to recruit Venom at some point, because, yeah, even though Venom 3 is the last one in the trilogy, I know that Tom Hardy's Venom will go back to 616, because I know they play it off as a joke at No Way Home, but, like, come on, like, seriously, we need to have the Villainverse villains be part of 616, so Tom Holland could really, like, have a showdown, And of course, with Toomes, because his memory is wiped, like, he doesn't know who Spider-Man is anymore. Like, now he's really gonna want vengeance again, or technically the first time again, if you want to get again technical, and just want to try to kill Spider-Man. Again, with some people out in space who haven't been affected by the spell, they will still know who Peter is, and of course, the sorcerers, right? Doctor Strange, Wong, whoever they are, like, they are still going to remember Peter, because they keep, like, track of, like, other people on their Earth, or multiple Earths, other dimensions, outer space, whatever. Like, again, go back to Thor Ragnarok, where Thor and Strange have that conversation about, Loki. Like, Strange is definitely familiar with Loki. It's a worthy inclusion. Oh, man. Yeah, just think about the Spider-Man, like, again, we can have 4 Spider-Man, like, Tom, Toby, Andrew, Miles. It'd be pretty cool. Well, they already did got PS4 Spider-Man in the last Spider-Verse movie, but it'd be pretty cool if they got him in Secret Wars. And finally, like, the live-action Prowler. I know that's our MCU Prowler from Childish Gambino. Hey, it's not nice to stare. Like, how did he end up in what is it called? The Hall of Spiders or the Spider Society? Like, oh my gosh, and seeing 2099 in live action, that'd be pretty cool. They can't kill him off in the last movie, so, like, they gotta keep him, like, and have Oscar Isaac. Seriously, Oscar Isaac has already played 3 Marvel characters, right? Apocalypse, Moon Knight, and 2099. Like, I mean, it's not a crazy idea, but if they were to get Apocalypse back, but he was part of, like, I guess Kang's plan, but he was part of, like, he was a pawn. Imagine seeing 2099 and Moon Knight try to take him down, doppelgangers versus doppelgangers, like, whatever they play, because literally Secret Wars is a game of chess, and there are supposed to be good Kangs besides bad Kangs, right? Like, again, there's infinite amount of Kangs from what we saw in Quantumania, and I was actually proud with the last one that we got in Loki Season 2. My brother and I call him Tourette Kang just because, like, the way he talks. I thought he was, like, faking his what stunt he was pulling, but, like, no, he's legit. But, like, I was very impressed with this one. Like, even Loki Season 2 offered something pretty cool for the MCU, like we could have great storytelling again, Like, besides No Way Home and Guardians 3, right? Like, man. And Loki can intervene. This would be a perfect opportunity to get both Thor and Loki to reunite one last time, And if Thor wants to make the honorable sacrifice, but Loki's like, no, brother, I can rewrite history. You don't have to die. But then Thor will be like, sorry, brother. I must find peace. It was good knowing you. Like, seriously, guys, I could see a moment like that happening. Anyways, yeah. Like I said, Secret Wars is gonna soft reboot the MCU. Like, we'll still know everybody, at least, like, with this one, it makes sense because we've known the MCU for a long time, since Iron Man, and with the pre-MCU stuff, we've known this stuff since, Blade, really. Since 1998. Yeah. And of course, you gotta have the Netflix Defenders, guys. Come on. Perfect opportunity for John Bernthal and Thomas Jane's Punishers to come back. And again, Ben Affleck's and Charlie Cox's Daredevils, Seriously, I want to see Shang-Chi and Danny Rand fight side by side, And if they could get Danny Rand into Shang-Chi too, that would be pretty cool. Of course, Secret Wars is also for when Peter puts on the symbiote suit. Perfect opportunity. Alright, guys, I've talked way too much about Secret Wars. I'm just so excited about this. But let me know in the comments what points I made out, what you think was good, accurate, somewhat correct. I want to hear your guys' opinions about Secret Wars, and how do you think it should go, how it should end, and what do you expect? Of course, even with this one, I gotta lower my expectations just because, even though it's the most anticipated movie in the MCU, and I guess in general, it's just, we gotta lower expectations, because we don't know what else is gonna happen next. I mean, again, we kind of do, but anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next episode on the podcast. Thanks for letting me. The Lord be with you guys also, guys. Peace out, guys. Remember, Avengers Assemble. All right, bye, guys.